Have you ever stopped to question what reality truly is? Is it absolute or merely a construct of our minds? Welcome our exploration of the enigmatic concept of reality. We begin our journey by delving into the age-old debate that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers alike. Is reality absolute, existing independently of our perception, or is it constructed, shaped, and molded by our minds? Let's first consider the idea of absolute reality. This concept posits that the world around us exists as it is, independent of our minds, our senses, our thoughts, and our perceptions. It's the idea that a tree falling in a forest makes a sound, whether or not there's anyone around to hear it. This perspective stands firm on the notion that reality is objective, fixed, and unchanging, irrespective of our human experiences or interpretations. On the flip side of this coin, we have the theory of constructed reality. This perspective suggests that our minds don't simply perceive the world as it is, but actively shape and create the reality we experience. It's the belief that our senses, our thoughts, and our perceptions are not passive receivers, but active contributors to the world we inhabit. In essence, reality becomes a subjective, personal, and ever-changing phenomenon sculpted by the chisel of our minds. Prominent philosophers have grappled with these ideas for centuries. Immanuel Kant, for instance, for a middle ground, suggesting that while an objective world may exist independently of us, our perception of it is inevitably shaped by our minds. Meanwhile, George Berkeley took a more radical stance, proposing that everything we perceive is a construct of our minds with no independent existence. So we find ourselves at the intersection of these two intriguing perspectives. The absolute, where reality exists independently, and the constructed, where reality is a product of our minds. So the question remains, is reality a product of our minds, or does it exist independently, merely waiting for us to perceive it? This exploration of reality is brought to you by the YouTube channel Eyes Wide Open. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, and comment below. Now, consider this. If reality is a construct of our minds, what role does perception play in shaping it? Perception, in essence, is our mind's interpretation of sensory information. It is through perception that we understand the world around us. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, the sound of laughter in a room. Each sensory experience is processed and interpreted by our brain, shaping our perception of reality. Now let's delve deeper. Our senses are not infallible. They can be fooled, as is the case with optical illusions, showing us that what we perceive isn't always a true reflection of reality. Yet, it is these flawed senses that construct our reality. This understanding leads us to an intriguing question: is reality absolute or constructed? The answer lies in our individual experiences. Our personal history, culture, beliefs, and even our emotions shape our perception, creating a unique lens through which we view the world. This lens filters our experiences, coloring our reality in distinctive hues. Consider this scenario. Two individuals standing side by side observing a rainbow. One perceives it as a breathtaking natural phenomenon, the other as a scientific marvel of refraction and dispersion. The physical reality of the rainbow is the same, yet their perceptions of it are vastly different. This is the concept of subjective reality, where the reality we experience is filtered through our individual perceptions. In this light, perception isn't merely a passive process of receiving information, it is an active process of constructing reality. Our minds, like skilled artisans, weave together sensory information, personal experiences, and beliefs to create a tapestry that is our reality. So what can we derive from this? Perception isn't just a window to reality. It is the architect of our reality. It's our perception that gives meaning to our world, that makes a rose more than just a collection of petals, a sunset more than just the setting of the sun. Thus, perception plays a crucial role in our understanding of reality, shaping our subjective experiences of the world around us. Now, let's turn our attention to the realm of quantum physics. How does it define reality? Strap in, because things are about to get a bit weird. The quantum theory of reality is a fascinating, mind-boggling concept that posits something quite extraordinary. Reality doesn't exist until it's measured. Yes, you heard it right. Without an observer, without measurement, reality is just a haze of possibilities. Let's illustrate this with the famous double-slit experiment. Picture a wall with two slits and another wall behind it. We fire particles at the first wall, and they pass through the slits to hit the second wall. Now, if reality exists regardless of observation, we'd expect to see two bands on the second wall corresponding to the two slits. But that's not what happens. Instead, we see an interference pattern, a series of light and dark bands, as if the particles went through both slits at the same time and interfered with themselves. The kicker? When we observe which slit the particles go through, the interference pattern disappears, and we get the two bands we initially expected. It's as if the particles know they are being watched. This experiment implies that the particles exist in all possible states until observed, a concept known as superposition. It's only the act of observation that collapses these possibilities into one outcome, creating the reality we observe. So what does this mean for our understanding of reality? It suggests that reality is not an absolute independent entity. Instead, it's a construct that's intrinsically tied to our observation. It's a concept that turns our classical understanding of the world on its head, pushing us to question the very nature of existence. Quantum theory proposes a reality that is almost fantastical, one that exists only when observed. While it may be a far cry from our everyday experiences, it's a testament to the awe-inspiring complexity and mystery of the universe we inhabit. So, where does this leave us in our quest to understand reality? We've delved into the profound debate between absolute and constructed reality, a discussion that challenges the very foundations of our understanding. Is reality a solid, unchanging entity, or is it a fluid construct shaped and molded by our senses and perceptions? We've also explored the intriguing role of perception in reality, how our sensory apparatus, our minds, and our consciousness shape the world we inhabit. The subjective nature of perception adds a fascinating layer of complexity to our quest. Then, we ventured into the world of quantum theory, where particles can be in two places at once, and reality is probabilistic. It's a realm that defies common sense, and yet it forms the bedrock of our physical world. As we unravel this mystery, we encourage you to question and explore your own understanding of reality. Perhaps in the end, the true nature of reality lies in the mystery itself, forever encouraging us to question, explore, and understand.